one source for the sports gamer.
Welcome back, sports gamers. It's the Natural. Some more Fight Night news today. It's been nearly a decade since the release of Fight Night Champion, EA Sports' most recent boxing game. However, it seems to be a possibility that the beloved franchise could possibly be rebooted. And many people still question, why was the series stopped in the first place? People have to remember that EA closed the Chicago division, the primary location for the Fight Night series, in 2007. While production was moved elsewhere, it certainly caused work delays between the release of Fight Night Round 3 in 2006 and Fight Night Round 4 in 2009. While nearly all the games in the series have been adored by fans and diehards, EA simply was not making enough money to continue production. Although Fight Night Champion was a hit amongst customers and critics, the sport of MMA at that point had overgrown boxing in 2011 popularity. When Fight Night Champion was released, EA had since refocused its efforts towards the UFC series and has continued making that, with UFC 3 releasing this past February 2018. So Fight Night returning has been a big topic, and it's come up actually in a Twitter Q&A this October. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn stated he's been talking to EA Sports about developing a new boxing game. A potential reboot could be a massive success depending on how the game is promoted and what boxer is tied to, and how big his name is. Many boxing fans are hoping that Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao will be on the cover of a new boxing game. Mayweather will likely demand a minimum of 9 figures for his likeness, and Pacquiao does not have the same pull as he did years ago. So many people were really excited at the Mayweather game that been talked about, and it turns out that was just the VR game, so we were all pretty much disappointed with that. And him and EA, I just don't know if that'll ever work out because the amount of money that Mayweather would probably demand for that. So also, early last year, we sat down with Brian Hayes, the creative director for EA Sports UFC, who was formerly a developer working on Fight Night, and this is what he had to say about the series returning, in case you guys missed it.
The only thing I can say is that obviously I'm a big fan of the Fight Night series, having worked on it extensively in the past. As much as people are chirping at me, just to let them know, I am chirping at people internally at EA as well, and I'm always banging that drum as much as I can. With whatever spare time I have that's not spent working on UFC 3, I'm banging a Fight Night drum.
Did you work on the Fight Night series?
I basically my first gig as a designer was on Fight Night 2004.
Oh wow!
Then I worked a little bit on Fight Night Round 2. Then I came back for Fight Night Round 4 and Fight Night Champion.
Oh wow, awesome! So is it just the lack of popularity in boxing in general, or was it the lack of sales from the previous Fight Nights, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think really the biggest thing for us right now is certainly the sports is that we have a lot of successful sports titles that are we're always trying to grow them, and the titles that we have are just they're getting bigger and bigger and more feature rich. So the concept of let's just build another whole new AAA sports title. It's just really finding the people and the time to get it done, to the level of quality that we know it needs to be done. Right now we're obligated, and we have a deal with the UFC to make these UFC games. Whether or not we can find a way in between some of them to squeeze out a Fight Night with the current team or what have you, these are all things that people that get paid the big bucks to run a big company like this. That's why they get to sort that out, and I just get to deal with the fun stuff of making the games themselves.
Yeah, because I would say outside of NCAA football, Fight Night is the #1 requested game that people want to see come back.
Well, I love hearing that myself personally. I know a lot of people on the team love hearing that as well. But like I said, as much as people, like I said, chirp at me about it, I am doing the same amount internally, if not more.
Well, I appreciate it. It's good that we have someone on the inside that's fighting for us gamers on the outside. So even the creative director of UFC wants to see Fight Night return and is pushing to make that happen. It's just more of a resources thing. It's more of a monetary cost thing. You know, it's the series wound up stopping because of funding, because of the amount of sales in the game. So you know, I think they're not going to jump in there and with that licensing and everything like that unless they know they can make a profit, and what the amount of license is going to cost to sign individual boxers and making that happen. So what do you guys think of you know, these developments? Are you hoping for a new Fight Night video game? Specifically, who do you think would be on the cover? Canelo, Lomachenko, Tyson Fury, perhaps even Anthony Joshua? Maybe a combination of different fighters would best satisfy fans, because people have to remember that boxing is a global sport, not just in the US. It is popular in other countries as well. Are you guys still playing an older version? You know, they had the remake that came out recently. A lot of guys jumped on that. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, check out the video I produced just last week talking about a lot of the indie games that are in development, indie boxing games that are currently in development. I think some of the games look promising, some I don't think it ever even be released, but there are some promising ones. So make sure you check that video out and support indie developers. If you want to see a boxing game, maybe that game doesn't look so great out the box right now, but when you put money behind it and more people support it and they get more funds, and maybe that first one won't, maybe that second or third game that comes out will be the game, will be to have the license boxes, we'll have things. So while it's always important to support indie developers early on so they get more funding and then they can make a better game for you and me, and that's what we all want. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and be sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications on for more boxing news here at SGO. This is The Natural. I'm out.